Robert Whittaker has stepped up to defend Khamzat Chimaev and Islam Makhachev after both fighters face backlash for what fans labeled as boring title-winning performances. Even though Islam and Khamzat controlled their championship fights from beginning to end, the lack of finishes made a lot of the MMA world criticize the wins as dull. On the latest episode of his podcast, Whittaker pushed back on that talk. He explained, "People don't realize how insane it is to dominate another elite-level fighter for nearly 25 straight minutes. When you're facing champions or top contenders at the highest level, shutting them down everywhere is incredibly hard. Doing it round after round is even crazier." Rob emphasized that fans often forget how high the skill level is and how rare that kind of total control actually is. As for what's next, Chimaev is expected to return after April 2026 in a huge middleweight fight against Nassourdine Imavov. Islam Makhachev, now the first Russian champ in 2 divisions, is waiting for his next assignment, either Ilia Topuria or one of the top welterweights like Ian Garry or Kamaru Usman, depending on how the picture plays out.
I don't mind seeing that in a championship fight because you don't see that at championship fights. Like, the ability to hold someone down at champion level, especially like the champion. If you go in there like Chimaev did, like Islam did, and hold the champion down for 20 odd minutes, for 23 odd minutes, that is so rare. You don't see that. UFC hasn't seen that really across its history. It is wild. It's also cool seeing the bubble. You know, we're in a bubble period and I'm waiting for it to pop. And it is the highest level grappling. Like, you can go back and watch those as a tutorial, bro. They're like, look at the small details. It's crazy. And yeah, you know what I find funny, bro? Like the people that go like, what are we going to do in the street to hold a guy down? Like, how you going to, bro, if you're in a street fight and some dude hops on top of you and humps your head for 25 minutes, bro, you lost.
In a new interview with a Russian outlet, Islam Makhachev opened up about a possible return to lightweight, a super fight with Ilia Topuria, and who he believes is actually next in line for his welterweight title. Islam made it clear that a fight with Topuria at 155 isn't happening unless the UFC puts a massive offer on the table. He said he's not a young fighter anymore, every cut drains him, and dropping to lightweight is nothing like before. If he's going to go through that again, the UFC needs to give him something big, otherwise he's staying at 170. When discussing his next welterweight challenger, Islam said the division is finally starting to make sense. According to him, 3 or 4 contenders are in the real mix, and he expects the UFC to choose the next title challenger within the next couple of weeks. Islam also reacted to Ian Garry's win at UFC Qatar. He said Garry didn't surprise him personally, but if Garry impressed the UFC, then it's possible they give him the title shot. He also touched on Shavkat Rakhmonov, pointing out that Shavkat has been out for over a year, which makes it tough to justify a title shot after such a long layoff due to injuries. But if he recovers and the UFC picks him, Islam said he has no issue fighting him either.
Islam, если UFC тебя попросят провести бой с Ильей Топурией в 70 килограмм, согласишься или теперь только 77?
70, я думаю, это должно быть слишком хорошее предложение, чтобы я опять начал вес гонять 70 килограмм, так как я уже не молодой тоже в этом виде спорта, и каждая весогонка забирает тоже годы здоровья, и уже не так легко, как раньше вес гонять.
Khamzat Chimaev stole the spotlight after a heated exchange with Ian Garry at the Fighter Hotel. What looked like a friendly greeting on camera quickly escalated into a real physical confrontation. Here's what went down. Ian walked up behind Khamzat and grabbed him in a playful, overly physical way. The undefeated Chechen didn't like the touch. As Garry walked off, Khamzat slapped him on the back, still friendly, but clearly aggressive. Ian turned around, they exchanged words, and Khamzat shoved him while telling him he'd beat him up. Security immediately stepped in before things got worse. Dana White finally commented on the situation, saying UFC staff and matchmakers are getting annoyed with these hotel hallway incidents, especially because Khamzat seems to be at the center of them way too often. Dana also hinted that something else happened backstage that fans still haven't heard about. Garry, meanwhile, is coming off a huge win over Belal Muhammad and has been non-stop calling out Islam Makhachev in interviews. He's now on a 2-fight streak over Prates and Belal and believes he fully deserves a title opportunity. Dana summed it up by saying there were multiple issues behind the scenes. The matchmakers aren't thrilled with Khamzat right now, and the UFC didn't handle the situation as well as they should have. Let's hear Dana's comment on the situation.
Had that run-in at the hotel.
There was so much bad shit that happened in the behind the scenes with that thing. And yeah, Yeah, not good. Yeah, the matchmakers aren't big fans of his for many different reasons. And
I don't know. I don't even know how, we stopped it, but we didn't do a good job of not letting it happen.
Max Holloway finally revealed why he isn't going crazy over the historic White House event that every fighter is begging to be part of. While the opportunity is massive and the visibility would be huge, Max pointed out something more important: his family. Because the event would only allow around 5,000 fans on the lawn, Holloway said his own family likely wouldn't even get seating, which is a deal breaker for him. He said he would still fight there if the UFC asked, but he isn't desperate to be on the card like everyone else. Family comes first. Max is coming off that huge win over Dustin Poirier and is now targeting a rematch with Charles Oliveira. If that rematch gets made, the winner would likely move right back into lightweight title contention. Meanwhile, on the champion side, things are heating up. A matchup between Ilia Topuria and Arman Tsarukyan is suddenly much more realistic. Arman just secured another big win, and if Topuria returns in February as expected, fans already view Tsarukyan as the clear #1 contender for the belt. The timing lines up perfectly.
There's no American champion. I mean, the only American champion there is the BMF title, so you're looking at the man. So, am I going to be at the card? I like my odds of being on it, but I don't know too much. I really wanted to be on it because I heard that's only going to have like 5,000 people on the lawn. The 5,000 people, I don't know if my family would be able to have seats there. So at the end of the day, it kind of sucked not having your family members there, especially when I worked my way up so high in the UFC to where I'm so used to having them in like really close ringside and stuff, and them just being there. So the odds of me being in there is probably high, like I said, because there's no UFC American that's a champion, but me with the BMF title. So we'll see what happens. First things first. Just get through this injury, and hopefully I can get a fight early in the year, like around March, April, or if they hold me, it's just so long. I fought Poirier in June, and the card is going to be in June, so that'll be a long wait for me.
That's it from MMA Time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA updates.